not just to make a product. There's enough products in the world. So it was really making things that would have a positive impact on people's lives.
You start your career as a model, and then you decide to open your two companies, Saltair and Self-Funding Planner. I want to ask you how and why you decide to open your company, and how you have the idea of your two companies.
Me, I always knew that I wanted to own a brand. I think that a lot of life and being a woman, we feel like we don't have ownership. We don't have ownership of our body because people tell us what to wear, how to look, all of those things. I went through many, many years as a model where, again, I didn't have ownership. People would take a photo of me and then they would edit it. And then I didn't know what was going on in the world and how people were perceiving that. So for me, creating a brand that I loved and believed in and had ownership in was just so important. So as I had my baby, I found myself, I moved to a different place. I moved from busy New York to quiet Texas. And so my friends weren't around me. I didn't see my family for a year and a half during the pandemic, and I felt very lonely. And it was very tough to get the motivation to wake up and look after myself. And I realized that there was something very powerful about taking a shower and smelling good and using products that kind of just give you a little bit of joy. So that's really what sparked the idea for Saltair, which creates the affordable body care products that smell like you're transported to a tropical destination, and just make people kind of feel good and remind them to look after themselves. And then self-funding also came from the motivation that I couldn't figure out how to plan my time during the pandemic. We lost all sense of time. And for me, if you plan, you can at least try to build a sense of stability. So the planner for me was, I want to work on so many areas of my life, not just plan my day. I want to plan my health and fitness. I want to look after my mental health. I want to look after my financial health. I want to look after my social media because that's a big part of my career. And I didn't want to buy 5 different planners to make that possible. So I created just one that could do all of that.
It's like a connection with Saltair and Self-Funding Planner, like a way to plan the shower and have your time to be happy.
So we don't need material things, of course, to make us feel good. But I think sometimes certain products or certain rituals, like getting in the shower, putting lotion on, putting perfume on, putting your favorite outfit on, going to the gym, there are certain things we can do that make us feel better. And so I think that was always what I wanted, not just to make a product. There's enough products in the world. So it was really making things that would have a positive impact on people's lives.
You think that your strength in your brand is the fact that it's not only a product, but is the message under your products?
Totally. It's a message and a mission. And I think that the most powerful brands have both of those. They always start from a place of, I wish I had this, or I wish I could solve this problem, or I wish this existed. And there was a big influx of influencers and celebrities who all of a sudden had beauty brands. And unfortunately, many of them have not succeeded. And the ones that have truly kind of stuck and lasted, there was a need for that brand, and it had a purpose and it had a mission, and you feel that. And, you know, everyone loves to be part of something like that.
In your opinion, there is something you learn as a model that help you as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, for sure. I think modeling, people assume that you get signed to an agency, then all of a sudden you're going to get booked for all these jobs and you're going to have this fabulous, glamorous career. When the reality is it's 0.001% of even signed models to agencies earn enough money to live a comfortable lifestyle. Like, it's very challenging. It's very unstable because you could get booked for a really nice campaign and earn lots of money in that one day, then not work for 6 months, 8 months. You never know when the next job could happen. And so for me as an entrepreneur, I treated that as an opportunity to learn how to approach brands and get rebooked. So my biggest goal as a model was not just getting the first kind of shoot, it was getting booked over and over and over again by the same client. So I think with entrepreneurship, it takes initiative, and the same thing with modeling. It's not just sitting at home waiting for your agent to call and say you booked a job. It's thinking about, what can I do? I can do more test shoots. I can keep improving on my poses. I can keep networking. I can keep looking at brands that I want to shoot with and think, how can I be more aligned with them? And when you're on the job, working super hard. And the same thing as an entrepreneur. It's collaborative. Yes, it could be your idea. It can be your brand, but you have to work with people and you have to bring people in, and they have to want to support your brand too.
This is really interesting because I don't know a lot about modeling. So for me, it's all new. It's really interesting. What was the most complicated things you had to deal with?
I think obviously there's always challenges. For me, the hardest one was entering into the fashion industry at such a young age. You know, I was 12 and a half when I took my first photos. And by 13, I was already in an environment that was very toxic, that was telling young girls, even of that age, this is how you need to look to succeed. And so when you attach your sense of success or self-worth to your body and your size, it's so detrimental to your body image and mental health. So for me, that was really challenging, was growing up knowing that I had this goal and what I wanted to achieve, and feeling and looking at my body and thinking my body wasn't good enough, that I need to change it or else I'll never be able to do, you know, what I want to do. And so for many years, I was unkind to myself, to my body. I looked at it and wasn't appreciative and grateful. And when I think about it now, you know, I'm healthy, I'm active, I'm able to have a child. Like, there are so many things my body allows me to do. And to think that at one point I wasn't grateful for that. So I'm glad that I don't feel those insecurities now. But I think what's interesting is becoming a business owner and entrepreneur. For so long as a model, you're told that you shouldn't speak up, that you're just, you know, a pretty face, and so I had some insecurity around, well, people aren't going to take me seriously. Now trying to create this business and this brand, are people going to take me seriously? Are they going to trust and believe in me? But that for me was like a new challenge to overcome my own self-doubt.
You are a mother, and as we say, you are a model, entrepreneur. What you think is the key to do the equilibration with your family, your company? How you do the both things together?
I think it's not easy. I don't want to pretend that I have it figured out and that I have found the balance, because there are days when I want to cry because I feel guilty for having to fly to a different place for a meeting and my son's asking me to stay at home. I feel guilty for staying up super late, and my husband came out of the room to wake up for his day and I was still up. And, you know, that's been challenging. We rarely get time alone together, and it's something we want more of and we want to do, but we also know I'm doing everything that I dreamed of, and the building the brand at the start is always the hardest point, right? Like the first kind of 5 years of a business. So we always keep saying it's just a season. I will say, asking for help. Parents are the greatest blessing. The grandparents, having them around is life-changing. For us, it's the balance of being able to speak to your partner and say, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I need you to get up this morning so I can rest, or I have this big meeting, how can you support me, how can I support you? And this is why it's important, if you're going to start a business, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to love it so much. You have to be obsessed with it, because if you're not going to be able to choose doing the work over going out to the movies with your friends. There's going to be a lot of compromises. And so with motherhood, it's constantly prioritizing. And so for me, I stop working every day at 3 p.m. to pick up my son. And then I'm like phone free 3 p.m. till 7:38. So I have 5 hours with him every day. But then I work again 8 p.m. till like 10 is the goal. but usually it's more like 1 a.m. So I'm working on that, but I'm definitely doing everything that I love. And some days, am I jealous of friends who don't have to work and they get to be with their children? That's not the case for me. Being a mom is enough, but I am a human that needs more. I need to create. I have ambitions and goals.
What is that the thing that has given you the most satisfaction as an entrepreneur?
We have gotten feedback from some of the girls who have our products. Actually, the planner, we have the financial kind of aid, like I said, where it slots into your planner and you can look at your cash flow, you can talk about your relationship with money. And I had a girl message me and say that she saved $2,000 in the first month of using the planner. So for me, I was just like, yes, this is so wonderful. And then with Saltair, we had this lovely video, and it was definitely one of the most satisfying to watch. It was a young girl who's in college, and she said, I don't have much money, but I wanted to try your body oil. So I spent the $20 and I bought your body oil, and I struggle with my mental health and I have depression. And she said, I'm not saying it cured my depression, but she said, it brought me so much joy. She, at the end, was so funny. She was like, so don't you ever stop making this oil, Iskra. And it was like a mixture of just like joy and like, that's exactly what I'd hoped.
Do you think that if you were a man, some things in your career can be easier?
In some respects, yes. I think that asking for money, I think that having respect of belief in what you're going to do as a business. But I think for my brand Saltair, I think that only a woman could understand what a woman needs in a product that's meant to make her feel, like she's looking after herself. So absolutely in business, I think so. And it will be very interesting because, in about probably 3-4 years, we might end up selling the business. I would stay on as founder. I would stay on and have equity, but we might, sell to a bigger company who can help us grow. And that's where I think I'm going to wish I was a man. Because I'm going to be probably in a room filled with men who are essentially going to be asking me to prove why my brand is worth X amount, or why, this business is worth, buying. And so I'm nervous for that. And I will just have to stay strong in the fact that I've got this, and, really quieten the self-doubt. But yeah, I think as a man also, you have to advocate for when you need to work more than a man who it's just assumed that the man goes off and works, and the mom has to figure out the school lunch, the clothes. And so I think even as a mom, you can ask your husband to do more, but it's like this ingrained automatic thing of like, you feel like you have to do all the things to keep your house and home in a certain way, to be the mom that shows up to the play date and all the other kids have the really perfect snack that's super healthy. And then you're the mom who didn't have time and got the kid like a McDonald's, and then you feel bad. Like there's these pressures that I don't believe men feel the same way as women. And that is a heavy weight to carry every day.
You are the company that help women to feel better and so on. You think that sometimes the sentence women are the enemy of the woman is really?
I think that we do have some kind of innate competition between women. I think it can be used in a healthy way, but I also think a lot of the times we have to move past that. We really have to stop judging other women, stop comparing ourselves to other women, and really focus on yourself and what you want and where you're going. Especially in the modeling world, I think that was one of the best lessons, because I saw girls who weren't able to do that, and it really, really made it challenging for them. There would be girls who would say, I went for that casting. She got it. Why did she get it? Not me. And I was already just like, that was not for me. Something else will be for me. Everyone is deserving of opportunity, and there's an abundance of success and money and brands. And so I think that is something that you probably will have to work through and deal with, and something to be aware of.
What advice would you give to those that want to open a company?
So I would definitely say you have to love what the company is and what it stands for. I think that, like we talked about earlier, the first thing is, what is the mission of the company, of the brand? Because if it doesn't have a mission, what's going to make you show up every day? Just earning money isn't enough. It might feel like it at the beginning, but honestly, most companies do not make a profit for quite a long time. And so it's very important that you do what you love and you have a bigger reason than just thinking, this is going to make me some money. Anything that makes you money quick is probably not a long-term brand or goal or vision, because it doesn't stand for anything more than that. And the day that you don't make money from it, you know, it's just going to go away. So that's very important. And then finding out, what do you specialize in? I know that I specialize in marketing, branding, in speaking and communicating to my customer. So when you think about a brand and a business, you have to realize that you don't have to do it all, and you probably shouldn't do it all, because you need people who are better than you in different areas of your business. So you want to start planning out, this is really where I think that I'm going to bring the most value, and I'm going to need to bring lots of different type of people in eventually. But who's the first person I need that's going to maybe be the CFO, or maybe the CMO, or maybe even a CEO if you feel like you're just the founder with the idea. So yeah, it's really constructing a business that helps everyone feel like they're valued for what they do. And I think that for women, we got told to be the girl boss. And we very much got told, if you don't do everything yourself from scratch, you're not self-funded, or you're not, doing it all. That's just a lie, and you will get burnt out. Definitely ask for help. Definitely, even from day one with Saltair, I've split my business with my business partner, because I knew I could not do this alone. Not just because I wasn't capable. I could have been capable, but it would have taken even more sacrifice, to the point where I don't think I would have loved it. So that for me is important. Like from day one, think about, how much are you willing to do? How much is actually feasible? And do I have anyone in my network who can be a mentor, who maybe wants equity in the company or the brand to help me get this off the ground?
Thank you so much for the interview. It was a pleasure, and it's really interesting for me also with a company to listen your words, and for sure I will use your advice too. And thank you so much. It was a pleasure.